G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be looking at installing software on Ubuntu, and this is nothing unusual from what I've done before. I've done a couple of videos regarding installing software, so I'm going to show you the many ways of doing so because things are changing a little bit when it comes to installing software. So I'm going to show you the differences between them all, and the difference between also using Terminal as opposed to Synaptic Package Manager as opposed to the Software Center, and also looking at different ways installing with a .deb file, installing through Flatpak, through snaps, with an AppImage, with a binary file, and there's just many different ways of doing it. So let's get started on that. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install Synaptic Package Manager. And we're going to do that through the Software Center. So let's click on Synaptic Package Manager there and we'll have a look at it. The source is Ubuntu Disco Universe, which means it comes from the repositories that come along with the Ubuntu distribution. Now this is Ubuntu 1904. So that when you see Ubuntu Disco Universe, that is the code name for that release. So you know that that's from their repositories. It's not from any third-party application. So let's click install, put in our password. Right, so that's a Synaptic Package Manager installed. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open a terminal and we're going to move that terminal to another different workspace. Also, we're going to open Synaptic Package Manager. Put in our password to open that, and that as well I will ask you about that. We'll also put that into another workspace. So Control Alt and arrow down to move to a different workspace, and Control Alt Home I think to go, actually number 1. I can't remember that one. Anyway. That's the Synaptic Package Manager installed. Now, if we go to the Synaptic Package Manager itself and search for Synaptic, and there it is there, Synaptic, is a graphical package management tool based on GTK and apt. So when you see that name there under the package, Synaptic, if you was to go to your terminal and type sudo apt install Synaptic and press enter and type in your password. Now I can do that, but it'll recognize that it's actually open, so it's not going to do anything. But that's how you would install your Synaptic Package Manager in the terminal. So let's close that for just a minute. You can keep arrowing up to bring up your recently typed commands. So let's enter that again, and you'll see it's already the newest version. Obviously, you cannot install Synaptic with Synaptic, so you cannot do that there. So while we're in the Software Center, we can do a search for my favorite little program, Cherrytree, if I spell it right. Cherrytree. So we can click on that and click on install. You can go to Synaptic and search for Cherrytree. And you can click on that. That's a left click, and click on mark for install, and then it'll tell you what it's going to install, and then you can apply. So you can do it that way, or we can unmark that and mark it, which means it'll unmark it and we don't install it. We can also go to the terminal and type sudo apt install Cherrytree. And of course it's not going to do it because Synaptic is open. That's fine. But what we're going to do is use the Software Center to install that one as well. Okay, so we're going to have to keep Synaptic closed while we do that. Let's try again. It's only a small application, so it doesn't take long to install. So that's Cherrytree installed. Once you see the launch and remove buttons, you know it's installed. Now the other thing we could do is, no, we did mark up Cherrytree in there, didn't we, in the Synaptic anyway. So the other thing we can do is search for Easytag. And we've got Easytag and Gnome Easytag. Didn't know there was that's a snap store. Okay, and then Easytag there should be the Ubuntu Disco. So that's from the repositories. We could look at the version numbers to see whether the other one was a more up-to-date version. That's 2.4.3-4. It says actually the snap store's a bit behind by the looks of it. So they're very close, so it doesn't really matter. So Easytag is installed. So, and we also could have done, if we type Synaptic again and open that up, as long as we're not currently installing in the Software Center, that's fine. Just take it there. And we could have gone search for Easytag. And in the Synaptic Package Manager, you won't find any snaps in there. You'll just find everything from the Ubuntu repository. So there's Easytag there. Next, we are going to install Google Chrome. Now you can download it. So we'll go download Chrome. It will recognize what you're on. So we're on Debian/Ubuntu, 64-bit.deb, accept and install. And we shall open with the software install. Let's do that and go OK. Ubuntu software is ready, so click on that notification there. That will take you to the Software Center, and then we click install. Oh, have we got, maybe I've still got Synaptic open, is it? That might be the problem. Synaptic Package Manager is open, so we'll close that and try again. Install. Okay, you've got to remember not to have Synaptic open. There we go, now it's working. That's Google Chrome installed. The next one that I like to have with me is the Virtualbox. So Linux distributions, this is a Virtualbox website. We'll go to the Linux ones. And for 1804, 1810, 1904 and Debian 10, click on that. And open with software again. We are just waiting for that to download, as you can see up in the top right corner there. Once it's downloaded, it should open in the software. And there is the notification. Click on the notification, take us to software. Click on install, put in your password. And as you can see, we have a notification, Virtualbox 6 is installed. Now the other thing you can do, I'll just show you a demonstration here, which I won't install, but I've got WPS Office here, which is a .deb file. So if you chose not to install with the Software Center, you can download it. It'll be a .deb file, as you can see here. If you double click that, it'll open with GDebi. Well, actually, it's gone to straight to the software anyway, by the looks of it. So it looks like that's how things are being managed in Ubuntu now. In Ubuntu 1904, it looks like it's all been redirected through the software, so that's no different than opening it directly with the software anyway. It looks like it's all working in a very similar way now. We're going to go back to the downloads page, and you'll need the Virtualbox extension pack. So if you download all supported platforms and download that, you can install that with Virtualbox. And as you can see, it's recognized Virtualbox is installed, so it's asking, do you want to install it? Yep, install, and agree to that. Scroll down and agree, put in your password, and that'll install the extension pack for you. And that was installed successfully. So there we go. So that is Virtualbox installed. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to install a Flatpak. Normally what I could do is I could install Zoom. Let's have a look at the Zoom website, video conferencing, which is what we use on Big Daddy Linux Live. We use Zoom. You could scroll down, go to download, choose your Linux type, which is for me is Ubuntu 14 plus. Yep. And then you could download that .deb file and you could install it, which is what I've got here. If you have a look at under my apps here, I've got zoom.deb. But what we're going to do here is we are going to install Flatpak on Ubuntu. So that's the Flatpak site, and you can go to Get Set Up here. Click on the Ubuntu icon and it'll actually tell you, if you're not sure what's what there, it'll have a little pop-up there, Ubuntu, Fedora, Endless OS, Chrome OS, Red Hat, and so forth. So we're after Ubuntu, so we want to do this. I don't know if there's any other way around but to use the terminal in this case. I'm not really sure. And let's click yes. Now this is with older versions of Ubuntu. So this one is 18.10. So anything past 18.10 this will work. You use this command here. And after that, install the plugin. So that will install the plugin in the Gnome software. So Flatpaks will show up in the Gnome software. So copy that, paste it, and enter to install, and yes to confirm, Y, enter. And the last thing we need to do is add the Flatpak repo. And we copy that and paste it there as well and enter. Now unfortunately, in this case, I need to do a restart. That's the only downfall in that. So I shall end the video there and I will do a restart and we'll come back and install Zoom as a Flatpak. So here we are back in the desktop after a reboot, and we shall have a look at the Gnome software, and I'm going to install Zoom as a Flatpak. Now you would not find a Zoom normally in the Gnome software if you haven't installed Flatpak. Now as you can see, it's adding the metadata for FlatHub, so it's doing that. If you did a search for Zoom, you wouldn't find it. Now the other thing while that's running, actually no, we'll do this first because I will probably lock it out if I show you anything else. So let's do a search for Zoom. Now I've started installing Zoom as a Flatpak because it's not available as a snap, and I've found it to be quite stable as a Flatpak, so I'm reasonably happy with that. So I've been installing it as a Flatpak. Only thing with Flatpaks is they can be quite large in size. That's okay if you've got plenty of space, which I have, so I'm not fussed about that. So as you can see, there says there from FlatHub. So let's click on that and install. Now, just to let you know that that took a couple of minutes probably to get to start any blue lines showing on that install across there. So just be a bit patient with the installer there for Flatpak. Although it might be my computer slowing down as well. I'm not sure which one that is. So if you don't see anything for a little bit of time, just be patient. And there we go, Zoom is installed. So it took quite a while for that blue line to move. Once it started moving, the install pretty much happened straight away. So just a little tip I want to give everyone here. This is what I did before I was really up to speed with any Linux at all. I used to come in here and search for, let's say, Cherrytree. I'll just do a search for Cherry, even if you know part of the name, and then I would find the name. So you could search for anything that you have installed to find out what the actual name of it is. So when you know the name of an application, you could even type it in the terminal like so, and you can just, and then it'll run. So you can run it just typing the name in the terminal. So that's how you can actually install things, sudo apt install Cherrytree and so forth, which is what I did there, and with Synaptic. So that's another way you can get to find out if, I was just a bit fascinated by typing things in the terminal and installing things. I didn't like the terminal to start with. When I first started using Linux, I was actually thought, I just don't want to use that. I just want a GUI, which is GUI, which is a graphical user interface. That's all I wanted. But then I became a little bit fascinated with typing things and thinking, wow, I feel like I got some power here. but it can become a little bit addictive after a while. So, but that's just a little tip there if you want to get to know what the names of your applications are. That's a good way of finding out, especially Synaptic doesn't come installed by default with Ubuntu. You have to actually install it like we did in this video here. So that's Zoom Flatpak installed. So we've installed Flatpak. I've shown you how to do that. We've installed a Flatpak app, Zoom. I've shown you how to do that. Now, the other thing I was going to do was I was going to I did a video just recently about the Snap Store, and in that video I installed the Snap Store, which was sudo snap install Snap Store, but you have to do that in the terminal. So that's what I did in that video, just to show you what I did, and copy and paste that. And then that installed the Snap Store. So if we have a look at Snap Store, this one here, the only thing that's in here are snaps. So what I did was I actually installed Telegram through the Snap Store, and you'll probably see that it is installed. And at least we know that the only applications we're looking at here is a Snap application. It'll be nothing else. And as you can see, it's installed. So if we have a look at Telegram, yeah, I messed that up, didn't I? Telegram. And I didn't open it in that video, but I thought I would save it for this video. And there's Telegram. And I know it works because I've used it as a snap quite a few times before. So I seem to be getting on board with the Flatpak Zoom and the Snap Telegram. Those two seem to be working well for me so far. So I'm pretty happy with that. So let's, I don't know why I closed that. I've got a bad habit of doing that. Snap Store, let's open that up again. And we will install another snap. So let's have a look. YouTube DL. Sometimes I need to download my videos that I've uploaded to YouTube, and YouTube DL is a very good one to do that. Now, I've never used a snap for that before, but let's install that and see how that goes. Now, to install through terminal, you can do sudo apt install YouTube-DL. That's the name of the application. That's easy to do if you wanted to install it through the terminal. But if you did it through the terminal, you wouldn't be downloading the snap. You'd be downloading from the Ubuntu repos. So that's the snap of YouTube-DL installed. The other thing you can do is you can go to Synaptic Package Manager. You can search for YouTube. You don't have to do DL, just do a search for YouTube, and there it is there, YouTube-DL. So that's latest version is 17th of the 1st, 2019. And this is the 11th of the 5th, 2019. So that's the snap is more up to date. So let's close Synaptic. So there's YouTube-DL there in Synaptic. So that's the 3 ways you could install it. And the other thing we can look at installing is Htop. You could do a sudo. Now you'll find that the sudo apt install, the most recent command, doesn't come up because I didn't actually enter it. So if you don't enter it, it doesn't come up. Sudo apt install Htop, you could do that. Or you could look for in Synaptic. In Synaptic, you could search for Htop. There's Htop there. You can left click and right click and mark for installation and then apply. But we'll install it as a snap just to show you how to install another snap. So we'll do Htop. So that's install Htop as a snap. Now YouTube-DL is typically run from the command line. So that would be interesting to see if that works. And so is Htop. So they're both run from a command line. Let's have a look. Let's run Htop. And there's Htop. So that's working. So I have to think that YouTube-DL would work. So I'm currently running 1.84 gig of 7.7 gig. And I've got Firefox open, simple screen recorder running, terminal open, so that's running reasonably good. So that's 1.83 gig. Let's have a look at the system monitor, because that should be installed. That's installed out of the box. Resources. What is that saying? 2.2 gig as opposed to Htop saying 1.83. So I'm not sure which one's right. No idea. So that is the snap store. Things seem to be working all right there. So what we'll do now is we'll install Gimp. Now Gimp might be in the snap store. Let's have a look. It'll be in the software center. So let's have a look for Gimp. G-I-M-P. And there's Gimp, and that would be from the Snap Store, that one. This one is from the Gnome Ubuntu repositories. And this one here is probably another Snap, is it? Oh, that's FlatHub. So you've got a Snap, a FlatHub, and the Ubuntu repositories. So you can install that from the software there. You could also install from Snap Store probably. Let's have a look, see if it's there. What am I doing searching for Snap? Gimp, there we go. So Gimp is a snap. And you can install as a snap from the Snap Store. You can install from Synaptic Package Manager. Install it from the Ubuntu repositories. So we can search for Gimp. There's Gimp there. 210 in here in this case. But what we're going to do is we're going to sudo apt install Gimp. Put in our password, yes to confirm. And there we have Gimp installed, and we can close our terminal. We can do a search for Gimp, and there's Gimp. We'll open that up and have a look. 210, and there we have Gimp. So the next two applications I want to install would be, these will be AppImages. So to do that, one thing we will need to install is MenuLibre. Now we could have a look in the Synaptic Package Manager for that. Let's have a quick search for menu. Let's search for menu. A la carte is a menu editor, but I've gotten used to using MenuLibre. So if I only just type part of the name just to show you how we can search, but sometimes it can be a long scroll down to find what you're looking for. So I'm looking for anything starting with MenuLibre, there it is, an advanced compliant menu editor. So that's that. You could install it from there. You could probably install it from, I don't know if it's in the Snap Store or not. Let's have a look. MenuLibre, let's have a look. No application found. Okay, so it's not in the Snap Store. We know we've seen it in Package Manager, so we could arrow up for the last command and backspace and put MenuLibre. We could do that and install it from the terminal. But we'll do as much as we can from the GUI. So we'll type in MenuLibre in here. And there we have MenuLibre, which is called Menu Editor. And let's install that. We're going to need that installing an app image. And there's two app images we need to install. And these are, all these applications are selected by me because these are the ones that I would use on a normal system once I'm up and running. So we will go to Kdenlive first. Go to the Kdenlive website and we go to download, and there's an app image here, and the latest version app image is available here. The latest stable is 1904, so let's download that. So that's all the way down the bottom, so we can click on that. 264 megabytes, and let's save that. Going to save it this time. So while that is downloading, we have plenty of time to put that in to our system. So where I'm going to save it and run it from is a custom position within the hidden files. So we'll show hidden files, and I'm going to call that, make a new folder and call that .kdenlive. So we'll do that. Kdenlive has completed its download, so we shall go to our downloads folder. Let's cut that into .kdenlive, paste that. Now I don't know if we have any icons on the system. I'm hoping we do, so we'll check that out when we get this set up with the menu editor. So we need to right click this application and go to permissions and allow executing file as a program. That's done. So what we need to do now is we need to open our menu editor. Now that will be in sound and video. So click on sound and video, click on the plus button to create or add a launcher. And this launcher will be called Kdenlive, and that can have a capital because that has no influence on the starting up of the application itself. So you can click that tick there if you want. You can put a small description, a powerful video editor. That's my description anyway. Now I'm hoping there's an icon. If we browse icons, browsing files just allows you to browse through the different folders if you know where you've got an icon present within the system. Otherwise, let's try icons and try Kdenlive. Doesn't look like we have one there. That's a bit disappointing. Okay, so let's quickly go to Google. Let's try it from here. Images, Kdenlive, icon, PNG. What's the latest Kdenlive icon? Did I see that? Let's go back there. It's this one here, which is that one. Is that a PNG? Yes, it is. You can see the checkerboard pattern at the back. That means it's a transparent background. So we'll save that image into, go to home.kdenlive. We'll rename that as Kdenlive PNG. Save that. We'll go back to our menu editor and we'll browse files this time and go to .kdenlive and that one there and click on OK. Then you can see you've got your application there, and the command will be .kdenlive and the app image there. Click on OK, and that should be right to go, and we shall save our launcher. Close that, and we'll do Kdenlive, enter, and there we have our Kdenlive installed. And I'm normally using the AppImage for this, and it normally works pretty well. This is the new one, so I haven't tried that one yet. So the interface is looking slightly different there to what I'm used to. So I'll have to check that out. That'll be interesting. And if we have a look in applications under sound and video, we have Kdenlive there. So the next application or app image we are going to install will be Etcher, Bellina Etcher. It's been renamed. We shall download for Linux 64-bit, which is what mine is. Click on that. Save the file. And while that's downloading, we shall make another .etcher and create that. I like to keep all these in hidden files. That way they cannot be, unless somebody's snooping around your hidden files, they cannot automatically be deleted by anyone who might be just browsing through your system. One of the kids might have jumped on there and mucked around with it, and they do things accidentally. They never do things on purpose, the young ones, but it can happen. So that's downloaded. So go to downloads, we cut that and we paste it into .etcher and paste. That's a zip file, so we extract it here. And that's our app image there. Oh, is it? There's our app image. So let's cut that back out into .etcher. Paste that, and that is empty. So I'll move that to the rubbish bin. Right click on that and go to Properties and Permissions. It's already checked off as Allow Executing File as Program. That's fine. We will need Google Chrome, Google Images, Etcher, icon, PNG. Well, this is the new one, isn't it? This is the new looking. I used to use this one, but that's outdated now. We'll try this one. So save image as, and we'll go to home.etcher, etcher icon. That sounds good enough to me. let's go to the menu editor once again. Where to put this one? Probably in System Tools, I would say, because it's you are writing ISOs to USB pretty much with Etcher, so that's, I would classify that as a system tool. Let's add launcher, name that Etcher, browse files .etcher and that one there, and click OK. It's a USB image writer, so let's put that as a description. Tick tick and tick on the box .etcher, and we're looking for the AppImage, which is that one, and save the launcher. Now let's do a search for Etcher. There it is there. Hopefully all's working well. And there we have Etcher up and running. Very nice. So now what we're going to do is actually do an install from Synaptic Package Manager. I like to have Audacity installed because that's a audio editor. Audacity. Let's do a search for that. Left click on that. No, well actually we can left click, but we have to right click and left click mark for installation and click on mark. That's just extra dependencies needed for Audacity, and then we can left click on apply. And to be installed, and everything else will be unchanged, and apply that. The other thing we could have done is sudo, well actually I'll just arrow up for recent commands. We could have gone sudo apt install Audacity, or you could also search for Audacity in software, and that's Audacity installed through the Synaptic Package Manager. So if we do a search for Audacity, there it is there. 2.2.2. And one last piece of software I want to install is an application called Free File Sync. Now I'm going to make a video about this. I'm still trying to get my head around this. It seems to be quite simple to use Free File Sync, but it can sort of just want to make sure that the way in which it works, I've got my head around it, because it can be a simple image or mirror of your of what you're saving or what you're syncing to, or you could also have a two-way sync, whereas your USB could be the target, and then it can also be on another computer, it can be the source. That's the thing I'm just having a look at the moment. So let's download Free File Sync. Download 10.12 for Linux. Save the file. Once again, we will need Menu Editor, MenuLibre, to do these things. Now, just one thing that you do need to know is Etcher and Kdenlive. If you double click on this AppImage, it will run like so. And there you go. So you don't need to make a menu. You don't need to make it as a menu if you do not want to. You can just double click on that. But it's more convenient and looks more integrated with the system if you do make a menu for it. So that's why I show it that way. So now what we have here is we have in downloads a tar.gz file. So this is a very similar thing, but this one is a binary. So what are we looking for here? Free File Sync, I think is that one there. Let me unpack that first. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to make a folder called .free file sync. I'm going to cut that and put it in there. Paste that and extract it here. Now if we double click on this one here and it's running. So that's how it's working. So what we need to do, it's a little bit like an app image, but it's just a binary file. Just double click and it runs. I'm sure it's called a binary file anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So what we're going to do here is open again MenuLibre, our little friend here. And that's going to be, I would call that system tool as well, because it's a couple of invalid desktop. I've noticed that's been happening a lot on MenuLibre lately. I don't know what the deal is there. I should look at that error, shouldn't I? I'll do that later. So in system tools, I would call it system tool, to be honest. So add launcher, we'll call it free file sync, and tick on that. Application to sync files to backup and sync files. There we go. That'll do. And the command is end.freefilesync free file sync. I'm pretty sure it's that one there. Okay, and we need to browse files to free file sync, and I know there's in miscellaneous, I think it is free file sync PNG. Click on OK, and that's the icon for free file sync, and we can click save and save that. Now let's just have a look in system tools. We have those two there. So free file sync, let's click on that and it's running. So there we have the many ways of installing applications in Ubuntu. As you can see, things have changed. There's many ways of doing things. You can also install the same application as a snap and run it on the same system. So if I wanted to install another Audacity, you normally cannot do that, but you can in this case if you install a snap. That way you can run a snap and a Flatpak and the one from the Ubuntu repository. So if you want a more updated one, you can do that. So that's where the snaps and the Flatpaks come in handy, because they are self-contained. So they're not, before you couldn't do that because you'd get a lot of conflicts with dependencies, but the dependencies are built into the application with Flatpaks and snaps. So they're self-contained, they run as one unit, so they don't conflict with nothing else on the system. So that can be very handy if you need something that's that you're using an application and there's something that the next version has, but it's not available in the repos themselves. You can download the snap or the Flatpak or an AppImage and then install it that way, and it doesn't conflict with the current install because that comes from the repositories itself, and then you can use that to see whether the newer version works better for you, because it may have something that you've been waiting for. So that's where it comes in handy. Now the other thing is, if Etcher is complaining it needs to be updated, what you can do is you can download, because it's got the version here 5.43. so if you download a new version, all you have to do is go, you can save it in the same folder, .etcher, save the new one, extract it here. You can have this one here, you can keep it there, but all you need to do is go to MenuLibre or Menu Editor, go to System Tools, or find your application in here. I cannot find MenuLibre here, so I cannot find Etcher for some reason. There it is there. I don't know why it's in there when I put it in System Tools. So that's a bit odd. But you can go to there, and what you can do is you can choose the new file path. So if you download a new one and extract it, if the new one was, say, version 6, say, for example, then just select the version 6 app image and then click OK. And then it'll be opening the new one. Just got to make sure that when you do that, it's been checked off as allow executing file as program. So that's how you can update your app image if it starts complaining that there's a new version. It's quite a simple way to do that. So that is installing many applications in many different ways on Ubuntu. Hope you found this video interesting and informative, and thank you for watching.